Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of Planet Coaster Dreams. I'm joined this time with my co-host, SPRidley. How you doing, SP?
I'm doing fine in this lovely night. I'm speaking from really late here, but I'm okay. How are you, Sdan?
I'm good. Thank you for staying up with me. And for you guys that may not know, I'm in the United States. SP Ridley's in Spain, so we've got like a 5.5, almost 6 hour difference. So
Yes.
he has luckily waited for me to get off of work and has stayed up and waited on me to get this first episode in.
Yeah, well, don't worry. I usually go to sleep really late, so you don't have to worry.
All right. Well, basically what we wanted to do with this whole series is it kind of started with Adfo TV kind of crushing my dreams. No, I give him a hard time. I call him my dream crusher because he's, all the time telling me, oh, no, they can't do that, or that's not how that would work. But so what we wanted to do was you see all the time like these different threads, and you see them on the forums and on Reddit, how everybody, like, you'll see a thread pop up, what people wish Planet Coaster had, or I want this, or it'd be cool if they had this theme. And SPRidley and I thought it would be really cool to come in, mix some concept art with it, mix some actual rides and themes of what we're talking about, and lay down these 20 or 30-minute track videos and just start discussing some of this stuff. So, like we were talking before, we're talking, it could be Planet Coaster 2, Planet Coaster, Planet Safari. It's kind of all over. This is just, there's no constraints as far as the realistic approach. I mean, it's all, that's why we called it Planet Coaster Dreams. It is your wildest dreams and fantasies of what you want from Frontier and out of this game. So we're not really constrained to the realistic development side of things. We're just wanting to know what your biggest wants are in this style of video game we play. So I think that's pretty much what we're after, SP, don't you believe?
Yeah, I think we have to think it like a podcast. And I not only Adfo, I usually cross your dreams a lot of the times on Discord. You know that. But I'm going to try here to be more open-minded. Maybe I can add something like, maybe that's a little bit difficult or whatever, but here we are. It's just like a podcast to think about not only possible DLCs for Planet Coaster, but for the future of the franchise, and thinking about Planet Coaster 2 and beyond, for example.
Right. And that's what's so cool, about bringing you in. Because you have actually, been to Europe, been to London with these guys, and, you have talked to the devs, and you have, some game design background. So it's really cool to have you come in and want to be a part of this to kind of, steer me with, you think, this possibly could happen, or I doubt this will happen, but it's a really cool idea, but that's why I think it's really cool you're here to kind of keep us semi-grounded, but, still excited for the possibility.
I think we all have, like, a lot of the times where I'm playing, or I don't know, maybe I'm at the shower, or maybe just resting a little bit, and I'm thinking, oh, I would have done this different, or maybe I could have that. If I was making the game, I would have had this, and I would have had that. I'm always thinking in that ways, and I think I'm not the only one. I think people there, like on forums, as you said, and on different platforms like Discord, they already talk about what they could add in the game. But the thing is, most of the people never go in depth. And what we're going to try to do in this podcast is, Sdan and me, is go a little bit more in depth with the ideas, how they could do this, how they could do that, but just be with our imagination a little bit and do this as fun as possible.
Right, and I think it's like you said, there's a lot of ideas that probably totally get abandoned just because you do not have, like you might not have what you need yet, or there might be a certain theme, or a certain, even like if you're trying to do a recreation. There's just a lot of times I think, given certain theme restraints or what have you, a lot of really cool ideas are either in waiting or they've been abandoned just because the person doesn't think they can make it work.
Yeah,
or,
like I think our major restraints right now with the game is size of stuff in the game.
Yeah.
They're getting
we'll get
better.
to that too.
They're getting better. Yeah. That's true.
Oh yeah. They've definitely taken a better turn towards smaller pieces. I know that's a thing that gets brought up a lot. Is everything in Planet Coaster is just scaled so large that we lack a lot of those smaller, finer detail pieces. And it seems like every one of these packs that come out, the smaller pieces are being addressed more and more. So I definitely think they're listening to us. Sam and the guys, I think, they want to give us the best tools they can give us. And it's like I said, it seems like with each little update, each little release, we definitely have a little more at our disposal. So, I think it's coming along good.
Yeah, I think we're good. I think we did great explaining the idea of this podcast, and now let's start a little bit with ideas that we have gathered through Twitter. I think it was.
Yep. Now this first episode, this is all from Twitter. So we got suggestions from Instagram and Facebook, Reddit, Twitter. So there were so many coming in. We had actually thought about doing this as just one it wasn't going to be episodes. We were just going to do one big Planet Coaster Dreams, and Jonty from Geekism is like, "What, you bunch of idiots? You can't just do one big giant video. You got to break that up into different episodes, or you'll never be able to cover everything." So
put that cash.
Yeah. So usually Jonty, with his extensive knowledge in all things analytics and YouTube wise, his wisdom that we draw from, I think will work out pretty good if we break this down. And essentially, I think we're going to have to, or we would be here for like 4.5 hours going over all these suggestions.
I don't think we even have enough time to talk about everything that everybody said on Twitter.
Yeah, if we just did Twitter, we'd probably be here for an hour or so. But anyways, Delady Signer threatened us. She said she had to go first. So we will start with we'll just start with her list. I've got my notes ready here, SP. If you
I have also
if
the
you
notes
wanna
open.
if you want to follow me, basically Delady starts with more fairy tale props.
Of course,
fairy
the
tale
lady
props.
loves her fairy tale.
Yeah, animatronics. She's talking elves and dwarves and mushrooms and doors and windows. And one of the things that we had talked about earlier about something like this is, how does Frontier approach that when there's already a fairy tale pack? Like there's already a theme. So how does that get approached as far as a fantasy theme goes when we already have that? Like, what is it called? How do they spin it?
Because I think that the problem here is that while they could add more stuff, there's always a budget for these things. And I'm not going to crush dreams of anyone here, but I think maybe a better idea for expanding these sets will be adding more stuff but not like maybe I don't know what to say here, but like mushrooms. Maybe think a little bit about making in the smaller pieces with fantasy textures, so you can create anything you want. Although I know she said like animatronics of elves and dwarves and doors and windows, and I think those are really needed if you want to expand the fantasy set. But then there's another idea we had on Twitter that we're going to talk a little bit later that could resolve that.
Right. And, and another thing too, that I know a lot of people that, this could be its own episode as well. But once you get into a little more of these finer details, Love it or hate it, the user-generated content
Yes,
is kind of where a lot of this comes in. Like, remember when Mike from BroCoaster, or N7 with his fairy tale pieces and some of his absolutely incredible particle effects from RollerCoaster Tycoon 3.
And we are seeing, and actually we are seeing that in another amazing theme park game called Parkitect. I don't know if a lot of people here, but if you don't know about the game, it's just RollerCoaster Tycoon 2 on steroids. It's amazing. They are going to add a campaign mode soon, and you should get it because it's really fun game. But yeah, that has DLC. Custom scenery. I mean, made by people, and it's really great. It's looking really amazing.
And it's like you said, we see the user-generated content files within Steam. So obviously it's going to happen eventually. But I think more as far as this dream goes, I would love to see proper frontier development type fairy tale expansion, props and all that. But I think a lot of this kind of more smaller, detailed elf, dwarves, mushrooms, that type of stuff, probably going to get it more from the community once modders are able to get their hands on it. And, so that just might be how that goes down.
Yeah, I think something interesting she added are maybe the more dark ride types. And dark ride types that are being created a lot with fantasy sets, like Dream Flight at Efteling or Peter Pan at Disneyland.
Right.
The hanging type of small boat. Although people, I suppose, would like a little bit more generic, but I think with a fantasy, because that ride is always a fantasy type of ride.
Yeah.
And you could make rides like that. A new dark ride type should be that in the game, I think. For example, flat rides, and she also mentions playgrounds, usable small stands, like popcorn stands and things like that. And I actually want to add in that, and this is something I probably we will speak more in another episode, because I think there's a lot of depth in this part. It's Frontier creating a counter, just a counter, like without that box we know with the shops.
Right.
So we could dress it like whatever we want. So we could put in art shapes like a popcorn machine or something. And that looks amazing. And actually the guests can interact with it,
Right. And, photo booths as well. She put photo booths, more flowers. She put another princess entertainer, more entertainers in general.
Yes,
but
more entertainers in general.
And, I was even thinking they could do like, if they wanted to do maybe even like an evil princess, like a Maleficent type of dark princess, to kind of counter Amelia, or and that I think that would be pretty cool. But more entertainers in general.
I'm thinking the possibility of painting the skin tones and the dresses of the entertainers we have in the game right now, the mascots.
Right. Yeah.
Like a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, even take Amelia and like paint her skin green or purple, and like change her dress to black. Like just totally black out her dress, change her skin to purple, green, whatever, and give her like a like I said, a Maleficent, creepy kind of entertainer princess, a dark queen type of deal. So I mean, that would be something to look at. You know,
again, this thing I want to touch more about making custom stuff with things that Frontier has already added in the game, like entertainers. And I want to, but maybe we will touch that in another episode because it's again really deep, and we could go with amazing ideas for that type of editors, I think.
Yep, and okay, let's go ahead. We'll move on to Sylv's, some of his dreams. One of his biggest dreams, we all know, Schwarzkopf looping coaster.
Yeah, I
He's
really want
one of those in the game.
The funny thing, I've never been to a Schwarzkopf. I'm sorry for my pronunciation of that. But looping coaster, because I remember playing RollerCoaster Tycoon 1 when I was younger. And you know Diamond Heights, that had these two coasters, claustrophobic, and I don't know how was the other one. One was called the white and the black one, that you see in the intro, and it was in the mini, and it was like, my head was going like with those amazing ideas of wow, how would this look in real life, and it's one of my favorite looking type of coasters in a theme park game, and I would love it to have it in Planet Coaster.
He's put new generation Vekoma, anything Mac. I'm really intrigued by Silver Dollar City's Time Traveler. I'm waiting for a recreation on that. I think that would be really, really cool. I'm not sure if you can take the spinning coasters. Can you take the spinning coasters in Planet Coaster and put them on a launch track, or?
I don't know actually. I don't remember because I never used the spinning coaster.
I haven't either. Well, actually, I take that back. I did use it one time in Curse of Nual. I did use it, but I don't think that coaster can be put on a launch track.
Yeah.
So you would kind of need that for a time traveler recreation.
Yeah, and again, new generation Vekoma. Vekoma did absolutely terrible coasters before, and now they are doing amazing coasters. We need those Vekomas in the game, please.
I know. And they give us the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train Vekoma. Yes. It really popular coaster in real life. But I definitely understand the need for the new generation Vekomas, and what people could do with those would be absolutely insane.
And then the expansion of transport rides that we really need, like chairlifts.
Yeah, Sylv is a big proponent of chairlifts, gondola transport systems. We know Disney World is installing their gondola transport system right now. I think they're trying to get it ready. I thought they were going to try to get it ready for the 50th anniversary of Disney World, but I think they're trying to get it ready for Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. So
I didn't know about they were going to add a gondola. I know that Disneyland had the original chairlifts that had to go through the Matterhorn, but they took them away.
Yeah, now Disney World is actually going to have their own gondola system.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's going to have all kinds. It's going to go to the different resorts and have different themed stations. And that's even what our next one of our people says. I think it was Greedy Meerkat talked about more station variations, and that's what Disney World's doing. Each of the stations that go to the different resorts is going to be themed after that resort. So the Polynesian, all of that stuff. Those stations are going to be themed to the resort that the gondola system drops people off and picks people up at. So,
and I think Neo Darban also asked for more chairlifts. So, and it's something I've heard a lot of on Discord, for example, more transport rides, more things like chairlifts, and people love chairlifts, even if they are scary.
Yeah, even however high they go up, people still love the chairlifts. He put also. Neo Darwin put smaller based rides, smaller footprints. I've heard that said a lot. I've heard that a lot of aggravation from people are that the flat ride footprints are so massive.
Yeah, and again, if they're getting better. They're getting better. They did it with the Montileone. But we need more, I think, and we need more flat rides in general, I think.
Right. Yeah, that's always one. If you talk to any Planet Coaster player or Planet Coaster observer, the first thing they'll tell you they always need is we need more flat rides. So that's a big dream for a lot of the Planco community.
Yeah, the same as custom height tower rides. I know.
Right, and I think you had talked a little more with Andy.
This is a problem. This is Planet Coaster Dreams, okay, but sadly, I'm not seeing them until Planet Coaster 2, or they find a solution for the problem they were having in Planet Coaster 1. And this seems similar to the problems they have with the water rides. They can't fix them. They build them in a way they shouldn't have. putting it.
But
like,
and that's what you said. Maybe with Planet Coaster 2,
but that's what,
it'll be designed. They'll approach it a little different.
Yeah, that's my idea. My idea is, okay, we can get it for now, but please, Frontier, hear us. Fix the drop towers and the water rides so they can be completely editable like coasters, and actually we can make an incoming drop tower or a SNS shoot tower, and they're different heights.
I know there's people out there probably absolutely applauding that right now. I mean, that is a dream. That is what we need.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, hopefully they've used Planet Coaster, if anything, as a giant test subject on all they got right and all the things that need to be worked on.
Yep.
So, if you look at it like that, maybe there will be a Planet Coaster one day. I know we've kind of heard Sam joke about it a little bit. He even said it in one of the live streams.
He's like, joke a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's something that, hopefully will happen one day, but, we'll just have to wait and see. Moving on to more from Greedy Meerkat, Switch tracks. He would one of his dreams is to have actual working transfer tracks, vertical lifts, drop tracks. He references, take for instance, Winja's Fear or Force in Fantasia Land.
It seems it has like a lift hill that it's like an elevator.
Yeah.
And then there's the drop track from 13, I think.
Or take for instance a newer example, Cobra's Curse in Busch Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
It is a spinning coaster with that vertical lift element, that elevator element.
It's Marorosone I think it's the same type of the one from Fantasyland.
Yeah. So
I think also here he's talking about basically track elements in coasters, and I'm going to add something that we left out from the late designer asked, and it's photo booths, but we need the photo track piece to make the photo actually take for the guest.
Yes, and then when you're making like your little exit, your queue exit gift shops and stuff, you can they can have the little guest stop and purchase the pictures, or you can see them looking at the pictures, have a little staff member that sells the on-ride photos. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Yeah, the lady signer put that photo booths, and but yeah, like you said, on-ride photos. Yeah, that would be an awesome addition. Our guy goes on to mention foliage brush, grass like implemented in Jurassic World Evolution. I think would be a big help.
Yeah.
You just not just trees, grass, anything like that you wanted to put down massively, other than just click by click by click. A foliage brush would be perfect.
Yeah, I hope they've learned stuff from Jurassic World Evolution also that could bring to the game. I've been hearing a lot of people actually saying paths, but I'm going to say no, please, because yes, path systems are not perfect in Planet Coaster, but right now we can do the majority of stuff we want with some workarounds. With the path systems I've seen from Jurassic World Evolution, that doesn't seem the case. So I would prefer they perfected Planet Coaster's type of pathing instead of changing it completely.
Right, so it's kind of like better the devil you know than the devil you don't.
Yeah.
And we don't if they were to just totally switch over to the the Jurassic World style of paths.
Yeah, I think it works
that we've seen so far.
I think it works great in that game.
Yeah, in that style of game. But with us, we need a little more customization. And if they take that from us, it might be hurting us, more than helping us as far as the path situation goes. Yeah. So I'm kind of hoping that's not one of those things for Planet Coaster 2 that is overthought, or they overthink this, the problems with the path system. Because for me, I know this is going to be a terribly unpopular opinion, I don't have much trouble with the paths. Like, I make it work. I use the flat roof
I don't
pieces.
Think that's a terrible opinion. It's just, it takes time, and sometimes they do the path system do silly stuff and you are like angry. But at the end of the day, you can do whatever you want. You can actually make paths like look like real paths from theme parks.
Right. And so, yeah, like I said, I just, that's one of those things where you don't want them to like overcompensate for the loudness of the community of, you need to get the paths fixed. The path tool is a mess. I don't think it's that big of a mess.
It's a mess, and at the same time, it's not a mess. It's like, be careful how you ask things, people, because they could take it from completely different way, and they could simplify the path system, and then we will have the problem we had at the beginning, that we don't have square paths, we don't have plaza types that we have now. So when asked, please explain what you want them to change when you are asking at forums and stuff and Discord, and because maybe some devs read that and they may take it the wrong way. Like, just try to say, oh, I would like the path system doing this stuff, like real theme parks open up this type of, and that's something that it's really difficult to translate to Planet Coaster, but yeah, something like that, I suppose more.
Mm-hmm. And let me ask you about our next dream here from Tiber Septim.
Yeah, Tiber Septim.
Character editor could serve as an animatronic builder, custom dress them, and select their animation.
Yes.
Planet Coaster 2 type idea, or
it's a Planet Coaster 2 type idea, I think.
Yeah,
right now.
that's what I was thinking when we got that.
And I think this is the last thing we're going to touch for today, because we have more stuff, but this is going to be like, we are going super long already, I think. And I may say that this idea may take a little bit longer to explain. So what Tiber Septim...
Well, and if you want, just go ahead. I mean, this is more of like a podcast type of deal.
Yeah.
So
I know.
If we got to run a little long, they'll stick with us.
I know, but I don't know if my home will stick with me if I keep shouting on the mic on the night. So what I was going to talk about, it's that Tiber Septim actually says, and I think this is an amazing idea, maybe too difficult to implement in a Planet Coaster DLC, but for Planet Coaster 2, like for example the animatronics, the something like the movies, and if you don't know the game The Movies, John T is playing with that game, like he has a series playing with the movies in his channel, and it's really good. And it's a game that it was, how do you say, it's like for the time was really amazing, maybe too much, and that made some problems with the game. But it has things like characters, you could change the clothes and something like The Sims. But what we are thinking for the animatronic builder, or for the cast member builder, like entertainers and stuff, actually add different colors to the scheme that we have right now, but make different clothes. So you can mix, for example, maybe Western with a sci-fi helmet, and you can make another different theme, and that actually you can make easier recreations. For example, maybe they add superhero clothes like capes and stuff. And you could make with a pirate, one of the pirate belts and a cape. You can make something like a steampunk superhero for your rides. There's the possibilities are limitless, and I think it's an amazing prospect that Frontier should try to see if it works around for Planet Coaster 2. I know it's probably a lot of programming, but that possibly needs to be built from zero. Like, hey guys, we're going to think about the animatronics in another different way. Let's let people choose how they build their own animatronics, and then have a drop menu with different animations, falling animation, waving animation, shooting animation, etc., etc., etc. And you have limitless possibilities, and it's amazing. And you could maybe even add different animation, so it doesn't have the same animation, and you can queue animations up or something like that.
Right.
things like that, and not only for animatronic, but maybe even entertainers and mascots. And you could create anything that moves and goes around the park, because that's already in the game. Or you could say, oh, I don't want this guy to move. Okay, I want to be in this spot always until he gets restless and he needs to go to recharge its energy at a staff room. But if he's if he is working, he should be in this spot always, and he should sing, for example, like do a singing animation. And you could build
or dancing or just
dancing animation, and
just make this character just needs to dance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or cue some types of animations like dancing, and then after dancing you can wave around, and after waving, dancing again, things like that, and then a loop.
Yep.
That could build so much. Like now that simulation evolved, I think. That's what Planet Coaster should strive for. That thing apart from maybe trying to make the guests a little bit more simple, and maybe I touched this in another episode of how to build areas in Planet Coaster 2, but actually going through the all the additions they have added to the game, like hotels and things like that, in Planet Coaster 2, vinculate them more to the guests and the mascots and all that, like Simulation Evolve. I know they used that for Planet Coaster 1, but we didn't see it too much. But they could do, with the basis of Planet Coaster 1, they could build an amazing Simulation Evolved game for Planet Coaster 2, I think.
Absolutely. And, I think we can probably go ahead and wrap it up there. One thing we left too out of Delaney Signers is we'll have to pick up on another episode is, of course, one of the big elephants in the room, figuratively, is the Planet Safari. So we'll touch on that a little bit. We left off with Tiber Septum, so we will pick up at Oracle Gakal, Amj, Coaster Cinema, Rail, Snowboarders, Felis, Gray and Grumpy, Dave LeSpring. We've still got a lot to go over some of those guys' dreams and some of their wants. And I don't know though, SP, with the Planet Safari, that may have to be its own episode. I might have to get with you on a weekend and we just sit down and try to hammer out
and I'm not that hammer out all that idea. You know that.
Yeah.
Because I want things fix it sooner than a big DLC because I think it's something that will expand the game a lot.
All right, well, let me ask you this before I let you go.
Yeah.
Planet Safari, would you prefer it as a Planet Coaster expansion or a standalone game?
If they fix I think it will be an amazing expansion for Planet Coaster 2. Because they will fix everything that need, and safaris are important parts from theme parks right now, and I think they should be there.
I know there's a huge following out there that would probably be introduced to Frontier for the first time. Well, I mean, as far as like the new generation of zoo games, if Planet Safari, if they were able to cover that, I think there's a huge desire out there among simulation gamers for a legitimate successor to the Zoo Tycoon series. Because these last couple Zoo Tycoons, I mess around with them a little bit, but they had kind of fallen off a little bit. And I think maybe Frontier can regroup and come back in and give us a respectable Planet Safari type,
although we have to say Jurassic World Evolution is some type of zoo game at the end of the day, or just with dinosaurs.
A lot of practice. They've got their practice in. I mean, really, as far as their animations go, and their art department has got all this practice in with the dinosaur movements and the textures and all of that stuff. They could use that experience now and apply it to animals. Mm-hmm. But that will have to wait for another episode, I guess.
Yeah, and actually,
do you think we covered enough?
We know Sam Dini was going to you were going to pass this episode to him. Sam
Denny wanted a copy of the spreadsheet.
Oh, okay.
So the spreadsheet we're looking at right now, he told me to DM him. And so, I mean, he'll probably take a look at it, and who knows what they'll, what some of this stuff they could get in the works.
They're listening to us. That's true.
Yeah. So, anyways, guys, we will go ahead and jump on out of here. Let us know what you think about this episode 1. If you want to see an episode 2, smash that like button for more Planet Coaster Dream content. And big thank you to SPRidley for helping me get this kicked off. And so they don't just have me on here blabbering for 40 minutes.
Hey, Sdan. I'm the co-host now of this, so we are both in this boat until the end.
Thank you for jumping on here and willing to do this with me. So,
no, thank you actually for creating this thing that we're going to hopefully do at least once a month and talk about.
It's like I said at the beginning. You see so many of these threads and stuff pop up that I was just like, why don't we put a video together? Let's get these ideas together in one place and start talking about them and seeing what's realistic and what we think can be done. So hopefully that's what we can do with this. But like I said, man, thank you for joining me on this, and hopefully here soon we will get working on episode 2.
Yeah.
But anyways, guys, thank you guys for stopping by and joining us. And we will catch you in the next video.
Goodbye, guys.
Thank you. See you guys.